Hi everyone, Ellen Jones at Lido Key with Tropical Storm Debby in the background. I'm trying to stay safe. The surfers are getting pounded out there. There are just a few. They've got the double red flags, which means basically the beach is closed, although I just talked to a lifeguard. He said they're waiting for about another 30 minutes, and they'll probably tell the lifeguards to go home. But yeah, it's really picked up. We've just had a tornado watch issued. They've already had tornado warnings 2 hours down the coast in Naples and here in Sarasota. You can see things blowing around and branches on the way here. We're in the street, but really not too bad. But it looks like the surfers may be hanging it up, and I probably should too. But I wanted to get here just to see the streets really weren't that bad yet, but signs were going up saying that there would be local flooding. When I did a Facebook Live just now, and a couple of people were saying, yeah, this is the time we wait all year for, or 2 years for. And here at Lido Key Beach, I haven't seen the surge or the waves this rugged. Just a little while ago, we saw just a huge number of flocks of birds that were flying away. I don't know where they're going, heading for the hills if you can find them. So, yeah, the storm is definitely moving up the coast. And one of the things that I'm just going to head under the shelter here because I don't want my phone to stop working. And it's getting pretty blustery right now. The eyes are stinging, the rain is stinging.
What you're seeing is a time lapse of this very historic storm as it grew from nothing to this behemoth that stretches from Cuba to the northern part of Florida. I can't ever remember in my lifetime a storm that was this big in terms of what you see on radar. It certainly, at least at this point, isn't anywhere near a damaging hurricane, although it is expected to grow. And that's really the thing I want to stress in this video, that the storm is growing because of the heat of the Gulf of Mexico. This is just adding fuel to the fire. It is explosive in its growth, as I hope these time lapses show. We now have another storm that is brewing right behind it. Not terribly uncommon for this time of year, but they have predicted it is going to be a pretty intense, if not the most intensive, hurricane season we've seen yet, all because of global warming. It certainly got off to a slow start, but this particular storm, because of the length of time that the rain is going to be hanging around, it hasn't started causing any significant flooding in Sarasota. But when I started out, I didn't see any flooding on my drive to Lido Key. But by the time I got in the car and came back, I definitely started to see some of the infrastructure getting overloaded. The big danger is driving around in storms like this, especially if you're next to another car or a truck and it just coats your windshield like going through a car wash and you can't see where you are. So it's really something to think about if you are considering driving in this kind of a storm. As you can see, I'm driving here down on the downward side of the Ringling Bridge heading back into the city of Sarasota, and you can't even see the skyline. That's how bad the visibility was or is, and how much it is degrading over the day. Not to be able to see the skyline coming from the top of the bridge is pretty significant. It is pretty rare that you see the systems get taxed the way they are and the lakes overflowing, but we're starting to see that now, and we're only into day one of this. So I hope if you are watching in different parts of the state of Florida or along the East Coast where the storm is headed next, that you will consider these things before you think about heading out, even though it is just, quote unquote, a tropical storm. Naples, Florida, about 2 hours to the south this morning, had 3 tornado warnings, and we've only had here in Sarasota a tornado watch. The difference being a warning is when they've actually sighted one on radar or on the ground in real life, as opposed to just a meteorological map. But either way, it's scary, although the tornadoes here tend to be way less than they are in the Midwest. I remember once when I heard first about hurricanes producing tornadoes that I would never want to live in Florida, but the tornadoes here really aren't nearly as destructive, generally speaking, as they are in the Midwest. I spoke to a former friend of mine up in St. Louis, where we both lived. She bought a condo down here from me, and she's here for the week. And I said, are you staying for the storm? She said, yeah, I wanted to make sure I sandbagged our garage because I was down here for Ian, and that was really horrible. And garages really are so susceptible to flooding and wind damage. So those are the things I want to leave you with. If you are in the area, stay tight, stay safe, and stay dry. All right, everyone, see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on how to live a happy, healthy life, even when you are faced with nature's wrath. Gotta run.